It's all about overcoming adversity. All season long, trying to figure out a way to get through the obstacles put in front of you. Sometimes it's bad weather, sometimes it's bad luck, but both of these two teams have come to within one game of playing for a national championship. The winner of this game, Cal State Dominguez Hills and North Georgia, will play Rogers State starting tomorrow in a best-of-3 national championship series. I'm Brendan Gulick along with Leah Secondo. Welcome back to Denver, Colorado, where we are fighting just a little bit of rain at the outset of this game, but nothing too heavy. We are underway at 7:18 here local time. Jolie Lester batting against Alyssa Olagi, and one pitch in. We've already got a pause real quick because we're flip-flopping the shortstop and third base that the Toros have done so regularly throughout the course of the season. Raquel Jaime is the shortstop. Third baseman is Amara Labanog, except until right now when they will flip against Jolie Lester. It's the same lineup for North Georgia with the exception of a new starting pitcher. Alyssa Olagi is pitching here for the Toros. That one's in there for a strike. Lester, the DP, Sinkfield at first, Simmons in right, Parker in center, forehand at second, Michael in left, Mixon at third, Blair at catcher, and Maddie Perry, the shortstop for North Georgia. 1-1 from Olagi, misses outside. For Cal State Dominguez Hills in the outfield, it's the same situation they had. I guess I should say it's the same lineup they had last game as well. Valencia, Abalera, and Davis across the outfield from left to right. And along the infield, Labanog, Jaime, Au, and Hull, with Lopez catching Olagi. 3 balls and 1 strike to Jolie Lester. Leo, we are in this situation because Cal State Dominguez Hills overcame 5 errors in the first 3 innings of our previous game to force this if necessary game with teams each now having 1 loss.
And I'll tell you what, if I'm the Toros, I'm feeling pretty darn good right now. This is a 1-game season. Switch back. Short and third again. This is a 1-game season, and I think the pressure goes back onto the Nighthawks. I don't believe Mike Davenport is pleased with the 3 of the 4 pitchers that he utilized in game number 1. They all got pretty touched up, as you said, the 17 hits by the Toros, and so, you know, the tide's kind of slipping the opposite way right now for Cal State Dominguez Hills.
61 degrees, mostly cloudy skies with some mist in the air. There is a chance of rain throughout the entire course of this game, but not enough to scare us off from starting on time. The payoff pitch to Jolie Lester is down low, and she draws a leadoff walk. Time called. I think they're going to change balls. I would imagine that the slick playing surface and that moisture in the air is going to make for a challenge at times on gripping the ball.
Gripping the ball, sliding into the bases, too.
For sure.
These players, if they go in head first, the momentum with this type of surface, they will slide right through. So they got to make sure that they're trying to grab that bag coming by.
First game of the day between these two was interesting to say the least. Wasn't pretty, but it's about finding a way, as I said earlier in the day, finding a way to win ugly sometimes. When you're not playing your best, you got to find a way to win the game anyways. And give the Toros a ton of credit because their offense made sure that they weren't going to lose. Sinkfield bunts a good one. And the sacrifice complete. Lester moves up to second base. So Maddie Simmons will bat with a runner in scoring position. And 1 out here in the top of the first. Cal State Dominguez Hills won the coin flip, so they are the home team. Sorry to cut you off.
Well, that's all right. You get the ball down in this type of consistent rain and something scoots to the outfielder, a ball plays to the infield, it is extremely difficult for the fielders, and it's going to bode for both sides. There's going to be an advantage for either one, but you really more so right now have to make sure that you're keeping that ball in front of you. any way you possibly can to knock it down.
On the handle of the bat, a little flare to the third baseman. No problemo for Labanog to hang on to that. 2 outs for Mallory Parker. Olagi today looks much better than she did the first couple games of the tournament when she couldn't really get past the second inning. Much better control today. Maybe she just needed a little time in these surroundings to acclimate. And thankfully, the offense has been so good, she's been given that nice luxury.
Started the last game, left, came back in the 7th. And did a good job setting down the Nighthawks to close it out.
Mallory Parker in game 1 today had an RBI, reached twice on an error, otherwise flew out and singled. 1-1 pitch. On the ground, Ow backhands and knocks it down, but can't stab it cleanly. So there's runners on the corners here, with 2 outs for Hannah Forehand.
Sharply hit ball, and that's what we talk about, knocking it down. Ow doesn't knock down that ball. Lester's coming around to score. So the runners split at the corners now here with 2 outs.
They're ruling it an infield single. First hit of the day for the Nighthawks. Hannah Forehand takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. And game 1 today, Hannah Forehand had a tough day at the plate. Flew out to right field 3 times and also reached safely on a fielder's choice. High and away. Three different umpires for this game: Kevin Condor, Eddie Hall, and Bill Gattuso umpiring. I believe Eddie Hall has the balls and strikes. We'll confirm that when we get the assignments for you. And therefore a called strike. I think it's Bill at first, Kevin at third, and Eddie behind the plate. And a forehand, bloops one out towards shortstop, and Jaime squeezes it. A couple of base runners for the Nighthawks in the top of this first inning, but they can't bring across a run. And we are heading to the bottom half of the frame. The incredible Toros offense coming to the plate when we come back. They have 52 hits the first 4 games of this tournament. First look this week at North Georgia Nighthawk Tybee Denton. And Leah, considering that her teammates didn't have a particularly effective game against this Toros offense, I think Denton's got big shoes right now she's got to fill.
Right, she's the only one that the Toros haven't seen. This will be only her, on the season, only her 24th appearance. So, you know, throwing everything into the sink right now because of it being a 1-game season and just trying to get into the championship tomorrow.
Labanog slaps one the other way. What else is new? Base hit. It is pretty remarkable how the Toros offense has knocked around pitching all weekend long. Again, 53 base hits now. 1 batter into the 5th game they've played this week.
And they keep grooving like this, they're going to set new standards here at the Division II Softball Championship, no question about it.
Abelera, the new batter, sitting at 349 on the season. Fouls the first one off. Kiana Abelera, steady center fielder. Like the way she plays the game. She's had a pretty good week, all things considered. It's kind of hard to point to anybody for the Toros that hasn't had a good week. Alex Davis has struggled a little bit at the plate, but that's okay. 1 ball, 1 strike. J.C. Michael, Mallory Parker, Maddie Simmons in the outfield. Reese Mixon, Maddie Perry on the left side. Hannah Forehand, Olivia Sinkfield on the right side. Georgia Blair catching. This is scorched into the right center field gap base hit. Labanog on her horse, and she gets a stop sign as the ball comes back in quickly. First 2 balls the Toros have put in play have been right on the button.
Hopping on the pitches, and this is much in the same way that the Toros have done all tournament long. If something's good there on that first pitch, you jump on it. Don't be selective. Don't get caught where you're hanging deep into the count. And Jaime continues her hot streak in this championship series.
Pinch runner, and that is Sydney Diaz heading out to second base, so she is summoned early on in this must-win game. Denton to the plate. Jaime takes a called strike. Raquel Jaime was 4 for 4 with 2 doubles and 2 singles in the first game today. That means she is 10 hits now. And she can't miss. Floats this one to left field for a base hit. Great job by the North Georgia defense. And Jaime takes second base. Well done. 3 batters in, the Toros flexing their muscles. They lead it 1-0.
Solid hitting brings Mike Davenport out of the dugout. Good job to move up once that cut was made. The decision made to get to second base. The force now not on for the Toros. Continue to apply pressure here at the bottom of the first.
I know this might feel like a loaded question, but what is it going to take to get this Toros offense off their game? Because they've done it against different teams now. It's not like they saw one pitcher that they just let it rip against. I mean, they've hit the cover off the ball all week.
Yep,
they're not hitting.
Team, yep.
I mean, they have a few soft hit singles here and there, but most of their base hits have been either hard on the ground or just roasted somewhere. That's a great play by Mixon. She pump faked. I don't know if the first baseman Sinkfield couldn't find the bag or what, but Mixon didn't feel comfortable throwing it the first time. And because of that, it's an infield base hit.
See the double pump and a hard hit ball. Would have been an easy play over to first base. And what we couldn't see out of our screen is the hustle of Valencia down to first base.
4 batters, 4 hits. It's already 1-0. Here's Maya Lopez. Back to Denton. They come home for 1, and Lopez never ran. Double play. She must have thought it was a foul ball. I can't imagine why else she wouldn't have left the box. I mean, that's...
Yeah, it was kind of strange.
Wow. All right, well, Diaz has gone down at the plate. That's good news if you're a Nighthawks fan.
HPP
the problem
here.
is Shanoa Al on the first pitch is hit by the pitch, and so they're loaded again. At least this time they're loaded with 2 outs. Your old 1-2-3 double play. Don't see him too often. Caitlin Sturm had a good first game. And Denton misses upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Sturm hit a couple doubles and a single. 3 for 4 in the first game of the afternoon. Freely cuts and misses. North Georgia trying to get back to the National Championship Series. Haven't been there since 2015. Cal State Dominguez Hills has never been even this far in the tournament. They launch this one way up in the air, and the second baseman forehand squeezes it. You want to talk about an inning that could have gotten out of hand in a hurry. The first 4 batters all got base hits, but the Toros only score 1 run, and it's 1-0 as we go to the second. J.C. Michael, the leadoff hitter in the top of the second inning for the University of North Georgia. And Michael slaps one the other way, diving effort, in and out of Valencia's glove. Extra bases for Michael to start the second inning. And the Nighthawks tried to respond quickly here. Gave up one in the bottom of the first, and a double right out of the gate.
Heck of an effort by Valencia. And fortunately for her, it tips into the corner. And J.C. Michael keeping it in front of her, not tempting the extra base.
So Gracie Mixon. Let's see what Gracie's got in store here. I remember last year Mike Davenport was just raving about this third baseman he has. He feels so good about. And Gracie Mixon has backed it up with another pretty good season. Offensively, it's been fine. Hitting .290 is nothing to scoff at. She's getting better as the year's gone along, and she drives this one pretty well out to right center. It's going to move the runner. It's plays like that where Mixon just seems to understand the game pretty well, and she's played really well at third base. Productive out there. 1 out for Georgia Blair. Absolute rocket at the shortstop. Jaime didn't move a muscle.
Nope, beeline. Good hard piece of hitting. Nice job by Jaime to gather that in.
Talked with Rocky earlier in the week. She and Alyssa Olagi, a couple of really nice young ladies. They are both trying to help this team make its path to the national championship game. It's a best-of-3 series. We will play the first of that series tomorrow at noon. And then Tuesday we'll play at noon, and if necessary, 2:30. All of those are local time here in Denver. Maddie Perry grounds it left side. Jaime spikes it into the turf, and it's not held by Hull. So the Nighthawks able to squeeze one out here in the second. Perry's benefited from that a couple times.
Good hustle down the line by Perry, and Jaime may have rushed this a little bit kind of took it in. It was a little above waist high and turned her glove the opposite way too, and then peeking, released it quickly.
Infield single, the official scorer says. This one is hit well out into left field. Nice base hit. Jolie Lester puts runners at first and second with 2 outs for Olivia Sinkfield. Nice to see Jolie Lester connect on one. I feel like it's been a little while since she hit one that well. Had a couple of singles that didn't leave the infield earlier in the week and was 0 for 4 in the first game of the series here. Sinkfield, little cue shot. And Hull takes care of that herself. North Georgia gets on the board. 1 run on 4 hits here in the second inning. Maddie Perry, an infield single with 2 outs to bring home Michael. We're deadlocked at 1 apiece, middle of 2. Cloudy skies overhead here in Denver, but I think, knock on wood, we may have dodged whatever rain system was coming in here. And so we are going to play on. Bottom of 2, 1-1 game. Tybee Denton delivers a strike. In the first game of the day, not between these two teams, but between Roger State and Texas Tyler, we had a 2-hour and 23-minute rain delay. Roger State beat Texas Tyler 9-3. And we've had a little bit of rain on and off here, but it's not raining at the moment. Batter in the bottom of the second here is Alex Davis. Eight, 9-1, Davis, Hull, and then back to the top of the order, and Labanog. 2 balls and 1 strike. Grounded foul to even things up. North Georgia has dominated the Peach Belt Conference. 8 straight years. Champions in the league. Won the tournament championship again. A lot of growth from this team as the year went along, because midway through the year, I'm not sure it was the expectation that they were going to make this kind of a run again. I guess that one hit her on the foot, despite a late call there. So, Davis down to first. She seems all right. That's good. Now Kaylee Hull.
Tybee getting some help this season with other players in the pen for Mike Davenport to select, and that has changed her role a little bit with the team this year.
Another player that wears an odd number with the number 88, but there's a good reason for that. There's a base hit through the left side. Kaylee Hull backs up the hit by pitch with a single, and just as the Toros did in the first inning, first 2 runners are on base here.
right into the hole with Perry leaning towards second base.
Well, that's it for Denton, so I'll tell you this as she comes off the field. Up until she was playing as a 10-year-old, she wore number 8, but I guess her best friend also wore number 8. And so Tybee doubled it to 88, so they could both wear 8s. That's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Denton is done after 9 batters. And the new pitcher for North Georgia is Jordan Warzinski. You get the impression there from Mike Davenport that it just becomes, hey, we're going to try to switch things up regularly.
Absolutely.
If
no doubt
things
about
don't go well.
No doubt about it. I think that he is, just going to throw whomever, because anytime you go up a team that knocks out 17 hits against you in the previous game, it's going to be a committee job for this elimination game against these solid hitting Toros.
Baseball teams call that Johnny Holstaff Day. I don't know what's the softball equivalent.
Got me.
All right, fair enough.
Got me.
Well, everybody's got to be ready.
Yep.
You never know when your number's going to be called.
No.
Jordan had only gotten 1 out in this tournament prior to today, and she pitched a substantial amount in Game 1 this afternoon. Warzinski finished an inning in 2/3. Gave up 3 runs on 6 hits with a walk and strikeout. All 3 of those runs came across after she left the game, though. We're all inherited runners. This is nicely bunted and well played. Sinkfield back to forehand to get the out on the sacrifice. Lobanog retired. Davis to third, Hall to second, 1 out. Kiana Abelera. Go ahead run over at third base.
Blair earning her keep behind the plate.
Yeah, she sure is.
So isn't Lopez, though.
Center fielder number 10, Kiana Abelera.
Caught by the shortstop Perry, and she shuffled it to third base, but not in time. Just barely picked that off the turf ahead of time. That's a big out. Raquel Jaime coming up here with 2 runners in scoring position now and 2 outs. Clearly caught it before it hit the turf. First base is open. I was going to say, if Jaime sees a strike here, it is a absolute mistake. I mean, she has 5 hits today and 5 at-bats, and she hasn't missed the barrel once. Take your chances with Valencia. And by the way, that's not a knock on Valencia, who's also had a great day.
Yep.
But I wouldn't pitch to this kid right now. No way.
With first base open, you're being very delicate as to where you're putting that ball in the zone. She has found the gaps. She's hitting the ball on a beeline.
Well, in the first game, that outside corner to a right-handed batter was not there pretty much all game long.
No, neither were the lower strikes. It was pretty consistent on that as well.
Warzinski, 3 balls and a strike.
Fun part of the game, being able to adjust. Wanting a new ball there.
Jaime's got a full count. I know this sounds silly because it's a full count. You can throw a strike and get her out here. I think you got a little lucky. You bought a strike on the outside corner and you got her to foul one off. I still wouldn't give her something too good to hit here.
No, if I'm Jaime, she's so good at adjusting. I'm looking for that ball on the outside corner.
And
that one got stuck in the hand a little bit, just a little bit too long.
So Jaime aboard with a quote-unquote harmless walk at first base. And Claudia Valencia, who again is not an easy out either,
Nope.
stands in. Valencia on the day, though, 1 for 5, I beg your pardon, 2 for 5. She was 1 for 4 in the first game with a couple strikeouts and an RBI single. Good pitch from Warzinski, hits the inside edge. Rocket into the glove on one hop. Sinkfield does a great job getting down low and keeping that in front of her. No runs across. The Toros leave them loaded.
No errors, 2 runners left on. We move to the top of the 3rd inning, all tied up at 1.
Top of the 3rd inning as the Nighthawks come back up offensively. So far, these two teams have had one really good offensive inning and one not quite as efficient inning. But we've had lots of base runners aboard as Maddie Simmons swinging over the top of it. Nighthawks have stranded 4. Toros have left them loaded twice. But both teams have scored 1 run on 4 hits in the inning in which they scored runs.
Oh,
wow, that was almost caught by, ow, that would have been wild. Instead, Olagi just deflected a ball that went back up the middle, and now it's about trying to control her heart rate.
Yeah, absolutely. Ever so close, and I was going in the right direction there. Ricochet, oh, so close.
It was a heat-seeking missile. I'm going to flip-flop the shortstop and third baseman here. So Jaime goes to third, and Labanog will go play short. You know, this has to do with having a slap hitter, but any other information you can kind of shed on why they would do that?
It totally has to do with the slap hitter, and there's so many different type of slap defenses. You know, I've seen where second will come in, and depending on the agileness, so to speak, of the infield on the right side, I've seen where second has come in and first is played back against the slap. It's just it's that cat and mouse analytics game that we see more so at the major league level.
This ball's hit pretty well. Deep right center field, and it one hops the fence. Mallory Parker got it good. Late stop sign put up. Mallory Parker tagged it nicely, but Maddie Simmons couldn't quite get around third fast enough.
It seemed like that ball kind of died a little bit off the bat, bouncing just before the warning track. Little bit of a hesitation there by Simmons, but with nobody out, everybody going in standing up.
Second and third, nobody out, and they flip him back on the left side of the infield. So Jaime back to short, Labanog back to third. The batter is Hannah Forehand. Hannah hit a big home run earlier in this tournament. She's got 12 on the season, which is only one behind Maddie Simmons as the team lead. Showing bunt here, though.
And actually, what Maddie's trying to do, as you had mentioned there, she's struggled a little bit at the plate. 0 for 5 now in her last appearances. She's just trying to get some good 2 eyes and some momentum, bringing that bat back against Lala.
Forehand hit a home run the first day of the tournament.
Dinger. Seems like oh so long ago. But this is the best way. Instead of looking at it with, maybe one, and you're the way you're looking at the plate, you're looking, you're squaring up, you're trying to get your momentum back.
That squirts away. Simmons didn't read it well enough. No. She knows she might have.
And that's all reaction on Simmons. That's not coach, because there isn't enough time on a ball squirting like that. That's got to be the decision right there of Simmons, and she knew it. She's mad at herself.
Yeah. Hull was halfway to, I beg your pardon, not Hull, Parker was halfway to third base. Had to scurry back when Simmons didn't jump.
Now, when forehand's taking these cuts right now on these outside pitches, she's kind of leaning back just a little bit, so she's not driving her body down into the ball. She's kind of falling back. You continue to get those pitches. Go down and go get it. Go in the direction it's going.
2-2. Chasing it off the plate again, and he's getting a piece of it. Way upstairs, full count.
Yep. And just like we saw last inning with Wierzinski, the ball's kind of slipping a little bit. Each pitcher is going to have that little project going on as the game progresses. Still misting.
Payoff pitch. Forehand chased another one. I'll give her credit for battling.
Mm-hmm.
Hung up there. Great catch. The throw came into second base, which allowed the run to score.
And Valencia is upset with herself. Shouldn't be too upset, because I'll tell you what, she made a great grab on a ball. If she doesn't make that grab, would have gotten behind her and rode all the way to 2 runs, would have scored. Ideally, you want to get that ball, and you saw there, Jaime's yelling for it. That's where you wanted the throw to go. Valencia knows it, but a heck of a grab and a play out there in left field.
Coach Mayer is bringing his entire team into the circle here. And I think he may have taken the ball from Olagi, so he is changing pitchers. Alyssa's, I don't want to say her day is over. The beginning of her day might be over, but we'll see if it's just a little rest. I don't know. Might see her re-enter. In the meantime, Ashley Weiss comes into the game. Maybe Coach Mayer says, hey, this is going to be a pitching staff day, and the last 3 balls that have been put in play have all been hit pretty hard, so managing pitch counts and kind of managed by feel a little bit. Make you change now. Weiss comes on. North Georgia gave up a run in the bottom of the first. They have scored in the second and third. Alyssa Olagi goes 2 1/3 here at the outset. Let's see. Walked 1, no strikeouts. All right, so Warzinski and Olagi, the two starting pitchers, already out. Runner at second, one out. Two runs, 6 hits, no errors for North Georgia so far. First pitch misses outside. Really appreciate the fact that you've spent so much time with us here this week. I know these two teams have played in a whole bunch of the games that have competed in this tournament so far. Ground ball to the shortstop, and the ball is dropped at first base. First critical mistake of this do or die game 13 of the tournament.
Wow. Chop ball on the ground. We talked about at the top of the broadcast the importance of hitting the ball on the ground. You've got to make the play. You've got to make the catch. And a break, first break of the game for the Nighthawks. As the runner's now at the corners here with just one out.
Gracie Mixon. Runner breaks for second. The snap throw goes back to the circle. And they quickly go to third base, but Parker was ready for it. So Michael comes up with a steal. Force play is now out. And there's two runners in scoring position for Gracie. She hits it down the right field line, and it drops in foul territory. Officially an error on the first baseman, Hall, not on the throw. I think that was probably the right call. That was pretty catchable.
Absolutely.
And Gracie Mixon's had a couple of chances here today to come up with clutch hits. Unfortunately, she struck out to end the first game. That one's upstairs. Mixon looking for a little retribution. Flew out to pretty good, I would say pretty deep right center field in her first at bat.
Ooh,
Another
almost
one
bit
too
for
tall.
it too. Right around the letters and very lucky. Held off on it. Nice pitch by Weiss.
2-2. Now the count runs full, and with first base open, not the end of the world if you walk her. Georgia Blair is on deck, and Blair has not been quite as effective here of late. But Georgia's hitting over 300 on the year. Payoff pitch. Rocket to the second baseman. Ow, caught it. Everybody has to hold, 2 outs. Nixon hit it hard, but an atom ball. So Georgia Blair now with 2 outs. Fouled out of here. Nighthawks have already taken the lead, and a forehand with a sac fly that knocked Olagi out of the game. Rogers State waits for the winner of this game. Get the impression the Hillcats wouldn't mind if this game goes a good 15 or 16 innings.
Just play into the night, guys. That's what they're thinking. All nestled at their hotel right now.
This is the first time North Georgia's faced elimination in this tournament after starting 2-0. State Dominguez Hills. As you see, the Nighthawks are plenty loose. Dominguez Hills won the first game, lost the second. Before coming back and winning yesterday and then beating North Georgia in the first game of the day today. So they've won 2 straight elimination games. Knocked out Seton Hill yesterday. Two on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. How do you like that? Great job by Weiss. Second and third, 1 out, and she gets out of it without giving up a further run. 2-1 game as we go to the bottom of the third. North Georgia 2, Cal State Dominguez Hills 1. Bottom of 3. First pitch swinging, Maya Lopez, a frozen rope that hangs up long enough. One out.
Now batting second base, number 11, Shinoa.
Al got hit by a pitcher last time up. And she takes one for a called strike. Well, so far this game's been a lot cleaner than the first game.
Yes.
Right, that's promising.
And I'm glad that it's definitely gotten chillier. It's like 50, 54, 55 degrees. However, the rain has stopped.
Al sends it in the air. Routine play out there in center field.
Take that element of that intangible with the weather out of it, which none of these players deserve that coming this far.
Yeah, not this game. I mean, geez, nobody wants to play in a really tough weather situation
right.
with what's at stake here. Absolutely right. Two quick outs. Caitlin Sturm now. One ball, no strikes. Warzinski might be the most effective of the pitchers we've seen so far for North Georgia. Realize Heberlin had thrown a couple of pretty good games, but I wasn't super impressed with the way teams went up there against her with their approach. Warzinski right now she's locked in pretty good. She's gotten in her
groove, yeah. She's definitely gotten into her groove with regards to the North Georgia staff.
1-1. High fly, again playable. This time it's Maddie Simmons who puts it away, and it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the third. Heading to the fourth inning, North Georgia leads this must-win game for both teams, 2-1. North Georgia Nighthawk batters back to the plate here in the top of the 4th inning with a group of young ladies that at the moment feeling good because they lead 2-1, but I think they also recognize that a long way from being done. Maddie Perry leads off. She had an infield RBI single in the 2nd inning. Perry's had a pretty good tournament.
Yeah, she has. Been
played
steady.
pretty well.
Steady, steady.
One hop. Good stab by Jaime. Diving effort, but not in time at first base. One out. If only had a little more meaning to it.
I get nervous when I see any player dive into first base like that. Run through the bag. That's all you need for anybody. Maddie Perry, whoever. You just don't want to see anybody jam up a wrist or anything right now.
Get your hand stepped on.
Yep.
Jolie Lester hit the ball harder last time up. Rolls one over this time. Ow, with a pretty routine play. So Olivia Sinkfield had a sac bunt and a ground out. I think both Wiese and Warzinski are both benefiting from some quick outs, just helping them feel like they're a little more in the rhythm of the game. It relaxes you a bit, helps you just, hey, my defense is doing fine, I'll just keep throwing strikes. No reason to tense up. Nothing in 2 on Sinkfield. New ball. Rub those up, try to dry them out as best they can. This game got started with some light rain, but pretty quickly that faded away. And that's just kind of a chilly night. It's upstairs.
Makes any of those balls that are coming into Lopez or Blair's glove just sting the right way, too. And also your hands on the bat.
Absolutely. Still a ball and 2 strikes. It's about 10 after 8 local time. These two teams have been here for a while. I think they saw a good chunk of the first game of the day because they knew that even if Rogers State lost the first game, they were going to play the second game here. Rogers State was not going to play back-to-back and then have these two teams start their potential 2-game series. So they've been here pretty much all day. Imagine some of the challenges are staying not just hydrated, but fed.
Yeah.
You got to eat. Hopefully they've had enough to.
I saw the Toros, one of the Toros' parents, they went out and got them some food somewhere because they came back with looked like a suitcase full of food in between games. And it didn't look like hamburgers and hot dogs. I'll just say that.
I have to talk to our producer and find out if we were on that on the list of trying to figure out if there was a sub in the bag for us. 6-3 put out. Only kidding. We are so grateful for the hospitality here in Denver. We have not wanted for anything all weekend long, that's for sure. North Georgia unable to get anything going there in the 4th inning. They go in order themselves. Middle of 4, 2-1. Here in the Rocky Mountains, and there is a little bit of light rain up there.
Started back up again. At least it's not the snow that we understand is transpiring to our west.
Well, thankfully, we're at an elevation where that shouldn't happen. But you never know. I remember 2019, we were on our way here, and the day before, we showed up and played that first day in 40 degrees. There was several inches of snow on the ground. They were able to make sure the field was in good shape, but I got smoked with snow 48 hours before that tournament started. That was no fun. Alex Davis into right field. Good piece of 0-2 hitting. Base hit to lead off the fourth. Hall and Labanog to follow as Toros try to come up with something here. Give themselves a chance to tie the game.
Warzynski left that one out a little bit over the plate, and Davis just shooting it out pretty quick there to right field.
Not by much. Kaylee Hall singled her last at bat. She was the last player that Tybee Denton faced. That's outside too.
Spot.
Two balls, no strikes. Runner at first with nobody out. That's on the corner. Good pitch. Warzynski didn't miss by much, but apparently a little too tall. Grumbling behind home plate from the umpires, all sitting wearing Nighthawk gear. And a full count, fouled away.
Yeah, that was a little bit flat in the zone, and Hull upset with herself. Wasn't able to find between the lines.
It is just off the plate, and they appeal she didn't go. Wow. Now,
Pulled it back okay. She was fine there, but from the other angle, it did look like from our center field angle that it was right there at the knees. Regardless.
Chopper toward the first baseman Sinkfield. That's a pretty darn good play. Perry had a long way to go. Sinkfield had to throw it to basically an unoccupied spot when Perry was still running to the base. You're at least able to get an out there, but let's go back one more time. Look at that.
Absolutely.
Previous pitch. No, I
nice
guess this
job.
is the replay here.
Yeah,
Sorry, my
really
bad.
good job by Sinkfield, and even a better job by Perry to dig it out and present it for the out. So split now the runners.
Abalera, the batter. Takes down low. Alex Davis at third. Amara Labanog at first. Light rain now falling, and Mike Davenport comes out of the first base dugout. You got a one-run lead, and the tying run's over at third, so you might as well try to make sure you have your first and third defense right. Get your mentality right here. And, oh, by the way, Raquel Jaime is on deck, so I'm sure part of the conversation is, hey, if we could try to not load the bases with the next hitter coming up, since we can't seem to get her out. Jaime has been a human wrecking ball. That looked a lot more strategic about the force plays, first and third, who's going where. Mike Davenport's won 975 games. That is pretty darn impressive. Rolled foul up the third baseline there. I'm not sure it's quite as easy as it sounds, but Rosinski could really use a strikeout here. Abalera watches one down low. Are you surprised that the Toros aren't trying to force the issue a little bit on the base paths?
No.
Because they've got a good runner out there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised right now that they are not trying to utilize this first and third situation to move that runner up. They want to run themselves out of an inning, like you said. You got two solid batters here.
Way inside, and it hits her. It almost looked like it was moving in slow motion, and she couldn't, like Matrix style, get out of the way of it. So now the bases are loaded for Jaime. This is exactly what the Toros hoped for. Davis at third, Labanag at second, Abalera at first, and Raquel Jaime. I think we're going to get a pinch runner coming out for the coaches weren't on the same page there. One thought it'd be for Abalera. Instead, it's for Labanag. This is Haley Garcia. All right. Gut check time for Warzinski. You said it earlier, it's a one-game season. Got to attack her as a hitter. That's a good pitch. It's probably the best place to try and throw her down and away. Jaime could bust it open with a big hit. Pulls it down the left field line. It is a fair ball into the corner. Davis scores. Garcia right behind her. Now it's 3-2, Dominguez Hills.
Taking advantage of the hit by pitch, and Jaime getting one right up in the zone, belt high, taking it with strength down the line and easily allowing two runners to come across by the time that Michael tracks that down.
Now it's only a single. The ball was quickly retrieved and thrown back in. I'm not sure if maybe Abalera didn't get great eyes on it. As Valencia hits a sinking line drive to right field. And the Nighthawks do a good job getting it back in quickly. So Jaime is at first with that two-run single, but it's still enough to flip the lead. 2 on, 2 out, and the new batter is Maya Lopez. Want to know. Yeah, it caught the top of the zone.
Uh-oh.
High, deep drive. Way, way back and gone. Maya Lopez uncorks a deep 3-run homer. It's a 5-run fourth for the Toros.
for Maya Lopez. Been working hard behind the plate and paying off. That pitch was in the same exact spot that Jaime ripped her ball down the left field line, and this one towering over everything. A good extra 20 to 30 yards.
One hop smash back to the circle. Warzinski throws out Shinoa Au. But the Toros have done the damage. Raquel Jaime, a 2-run single to take the lead back. And Maya Lopez, with her second home run of the tournament, unleashes a deep 3-run shot. And Cal State Dominguez Hills leads it 6-2.
We're all part of a community.
What a bottom of the fourth for the Toros. They've taken the lead back 6-2. Jaime and Lopez drive home all 5 of those runs. And wouldn't you know it, it's the team that needed to win twice today that is in the driver's seat as we start the top of the 5th inning. Long foul ball there from Maddie Simmons. 3-4-5 for North Georgia. Cal State Dominguez Hills. They didn't even have a season last year. And don't kid yourself, they weren't happy about it.
No, they weren't.
Made that pretty clear. They did not like the fact that they didn't play when other leagues in the region did.
We had the opportunity to speak to them prior to this championship series, and as you see the blue line coming around, they were pretty adamant that they felt that they would have gone deep into the season had they played it a year ago. Of course, Biola was the Cinderella, making it all the way to the championship finals. Had a great year.
Two runs, 6 hits, no errors, and 6 runners left on base for North Georgia. They left 2 on in the first, second, and third innings. But they've been sent down 5 in a row now by Ashley Weiss. And Weiss has been really good since she came in. Gasses it up top. Simmons out number 1.
You said gasses it, let her high and above. Right around the eyes. Simmons bites on it.
Actually, going back to the first batter that Weiss faced, J.C. Michael reached on that error on the dropped catch at first base. And Weiss has been really good. This ball's hit, just a lazy fly ball to left. Mallory Parker is out number 2. I think it's 7 straight retired. Weiss right now is in control. Time for Hannah forehand. Forehand sack fly last time up. Hannah's had a kind of a disappointing day at the plate. Was 0 for 4 in the first game, reached on a fielder's choice. Popped out in a sack fly in this game. She'd love to join this hit parade. There's a little life that's been injected into the Toros fan base after that last bottom of the fourth inning. But I think everybody in this entire complex knows there's a lot of game to go still.
Absolutely.
We have seen some big innings in this tournament. Hard to imagine it all of a sudden, though, right now, the way Weiss is pitching. I mean, she is commanding everything all over the zone. Forehand fouls away another. J.C. Michael would be next.
Up in the count. Tired of the last 7. She's grooving right now.
Cal State Dominguez Hills not probably thinking about it quite yet, but they would love another crack at Rogers State after losing to them Friday morning 10-2. Tell you what, with the way they're hitting the ball right now, I mean, I know they're going to see, either team here would see it, but in this scenario, Dominguez Hills would see Drea Morales, who's been the best pitcher in the country this year. Morales was better today. Those first 2 games, I mean, she was fine, but looked vulnerable. There's a big swing and miss for strike 3, and right now, the Nighthawks look a little bit lost at home plate. We're going to the bottom of the 5th. It is all Toros. Do or die. 6-2. Dominguez Hills out front. Bottom of the 5th inning. We've seen a lot of this throughout the course of our time here. The rapid transit system here in Denver.
It's the Florida. That's the Florida line.
That's right. Is that how you get home?
It would be a
Leah, that'd be a long trip.
That'd be like Wild Wild West. Artemis Gordon.
Bottom of the 5th inning. You know, someday when you're not in a hurry, that might be fun.
Yeah, it might be fun.
But I don't think taking a train from Denver to South Florida is the quickest way to get home.
No. But it's a great transportation when you're trying to get around Denver.
Absolutely.
Lots
of good ways to get around. I'll tell you the way that I think is most fun and most hip right now. You hop on the Lime scooters, getting around town, buzzing around.
Rogers State fans were here, I don't know, 3 hours before the game, and there were 2 families just trying to kill time. They had rented the scooters. They're just trucking around, taking turns on the scooters, going around the parking lot, and I'm thinking, oh, gosh. If I ever saw my parents on a scooter like that, I would die. Die.
I have ridden them a couple times, and I'll tell you what, those things go a little faster than you might think is comfortable. Nothing comfortable about that swing. Long fly ball out to deep center. Track down. Caitlin Sturm flies out.
Yeah, once again, things have definitely changed at the altitude since the weather has passed through. because the balls are now dying a little bit more aside from one home run. See, that thing just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Lopez's home run, maybe not, but all the other shots out to the outfield just seem to kind of just die out there.
Let's see if we can get another shot of that of the cup head. I don't even know who's wearing it. Somebody down in that dugout. I want to count the cups if I can. Ground ball to Perry, and she gets it across in time. 2 outs as Alex Davis is retired, and Kaylee Hull is coming up next.
Go Toros.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 7. Right? 1, 2.
It should be all the
1,
runs,
2,
right?
3,
Each
4.
cup. Each cup is
well,
a
that's
run.
kind of what I was thinking, but there's only
above the Toros. You have to give it something for stability, I think.
Yeah, I suppose so. Base hit left field. We'll see if we can find out at some point. So Hull with a 2-out single to left field keeps the inning alive.
I'm telling you, these guys totally get an A on arts and crafts. This is where we need a telestrator for sure, right?
1, 2,
Maybe
3,
we can ask
4,
for that
5,
in the
6,
package.
7, 2, 8. So there are 8 cups.
That's some good arts and crafts.
Maybe it's 1 per base hit. Maybe they'll add a 9th one now. I don't know. I don't see anybody. It looks hilarious. Oh, I love it. Whatever you want to do, just go have some fun. Roll to the second baseman, forehand, retires Labanog. You know, we've reached the point in the tournament where those kinds of things are especially entertaining because we've been here all week. But the reality is this is a really meaningful game, and we're about to go to the 6th inning. Cal State Dominguez Hills leads 6-2, and they are potentially 6 outs away from qualifying to play for a national championship for the first time in program history. You know, when you lead 6-2, it's a little easier to be loose.
I don't know that, I think she gets extra credit in the club having your gear on.
Were we doing that out in center field? We bust somebody? I think we might have. Tom, you can't hide from the cameras just because you're standing next to one. You got eyes in the sky, buddy.
Gotta watch out for the drone.
Now he's very professional. Locked back in. Hi, Mom. 1 ball, no strikes. North Georgia with J.C. Michael, Gracie Mixon, Georgia Blair. 6, 7, 8 in the lineup for the Nighthawks. Hey, since we just showed one of our camera ops, it's so important we recognize and say thank you to all these fine folks who've been working all week long in this tournament. There's a single rolled into left field. Michael and Danny, Kevin, Tom, they've all been great this week. Alec and James and Greg in the truck. It's been a long week, and we've still got a couple fun games in front of us to decide the national champion.
Those guys are here a lot earlier than any of the teams. And Brendan and I, just making sure that the sights and sounds of the game are brought to you folks properly.
Drones don't fly themselves.
No, and some great drone shots of the city this week, too.
It's one of the things I think we're most proud of on the production side is trying to give you at home a flavor of what this looks and feels like to be here in a city, you know, right on the outskirts. I mean, Metropolitan State University, right? I mean, you are literally in the heart of Denver. And this city and this campus got a lot to offer. You're staring at some really cool backdrop from home plate here. You get a look at the skyline. You turn around and look over the third base dugout when it's not dark outside. You can see the Rocky Mountains. It's a great city. We are grateful for Denver for hosting again here in 2022. We're not quite done yet.
No, we
in fact,
are not.
we're about to get to the climax of the tournament. Play all week, trying to figure out which two teams have played best, and then they got to beat each other 2 out of 3. This one's upstairs to Gracie Mixon. Well, Georgia doesn't want to go home on a sour note. They've scored 2 runs on 7 hits here in this second game, and I'm sure the Nighthawks are probably thinking, although not actively at the moment, Nighthawk fans, though, are probably thinking, how did we lose a game in which the team we played committed 5 errors? Well, the reason for that, you gave up 17 base hits. And all 6 North Georgia runs were unearned runs. Nighthawks are still breathing, though.
You know, and you have Cal State on the other side. While they won that game, they weren't happy with their performance defensively. Came back here in this game and flashing some leather.
Snagged by Labanog. Mixon couldn't have hit it any harder.
Nope.
Great defensive play. Michael got back in time at first. 1 out.
Super job. Getting right over in that hole quickly. Labanog thinking about a DP.
Georgia Blair 0 for 2. She is lined out to short sharply and struck out swinging. One ball, no strikes. High deep drive to left field. Georgia Blair has left the building. Just in the nick of time for the Nighthawks. The deficit cut in half. It's 6-4. Just the 4th home run of the season for the sophomore catcher.
You know, Georgia Blair separates her hands just slightly. Stays back on that ball. Great rotation.
So it's 6-4 now in the top of the 6th. Just a quick little mound visit. No reason to panic yet. You're Dominguez Hills. You still have the lead. But perhaps for the Nighthawks, the dream stays that much more alive because you've made some substantial progress. You got 4 outs to play with. Maddie Perry tries to follow the homer with a bunt. Goes foul. I always love that. Play long ball and then hit a short one. I assume Georgia Blair is putting on her, there she is, behind her teammates there, putting on the catcher scare. It's kind of hard to see her through all that powder blue. Coach Davenport trying to figure out how to make this thing work. What strings do you need to pull here at the end of the game? Maddie Perry, RBI single, didn't leave the infield back in the 2nd inning. And she's got a ground out to shortstop. Bat on ball, fouled it away. Crowd has thinned out a little bit. Some of that could have been the weather.
Absolutely.
All right. Some of it might be late in the day. All the Roger State folks have said, all right, we'll see you tomorrow. The 0-2 pitch, again, back into the screen. Hopefully that means there are more eyeballs watching us at home. Hopefully you
Always
haven't muted
good
us.
on the stream, yeah.
Hopefully you haven't muted us yet. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for North Georgia. 6-9-1 for Dominguez Hills. Good little battle going here with Matty Perry. If you're the Nighthawks now, your mindset shifts. You just need a base runner. Get somebody on base, and you got a shot. And frankly, considering where you are in the order, this would be a great place to get that done because you're going to flip the lineup card over after Perry's at bat. Weiss has another one fought off. Ashley Weiss, the first 9 batters she faced, she didn't give up a hit. 1 batter reached on an error, and then 8 straight sent down. For Michael singled to left, Mixon lined out, and Blair homered. Perry bunts it foul with 2 strikes. That is a strikeout. I guess I don't blame her for trying something she thought was going to work, but that is a really frustrating way to end an at-bat.
Absolutely.
So, we're going to have a pinch hitter for North Georgia. Haley Cummings, the freshman, grabs the bat. See what Haley's got in store here. Cummings sees one down low. Haley is 0 for 1 this week. That's a good pitch. That's the outside corner. It feels like the outside corner to lefties has been more available.
Absolutely. And the outside corner to righties.
1-1. Not quite. Cummings batting for Jolie Lester. It's 1 for 2 with a walk. Olivia Sinkfield in the on-deck circle. This is hit pretty well to left center field. And a running grab by Claudia Valencia. Good defense out there from Valencia, who's had a couple of nice plays. The Nighthawks only have 1 offensive inning left to work with, but they get a little closer. A 2-run dinger from Georgia Blair makes it 6-4. The bottom of the 6th inning, about to get underway. Here we go. The Toros have a 6-4 lead. They've got one more chance to add to that lead before they try to get 3 more outs defensively. If they can pull it off, it would be, I wouldn't say an improbable sweep, but but certainly a difficult day. This one hit in the air and tagged pretty deep to center field. Long run back for Parker, who grabs it. Abalera out number 1. Raquel Jaime about to bat here. And when she last came to the plate in the 4th inning, she had a very important 2-run single. It took the 2-1 deficit and flipped it over to a 3-2 lead. 2 batters later, Maya Lopez, a 3-run homer. And that might prove to be the difference. We'll see. Tybee Denton started this game. She lasted 9 batters. And unless she re-enters, she gave up 1 run on 5 hits with no walks, no strikeouts, and 2 hit batters. Good pitch, caught the back edge. Alyssa Olagi also started this game. She went 2 1/3. And unless she re-enters, gave up 2 runs on 6 hits. Walked 1, did not strike anyone out. That pitch hits the corner. The pitchers of record right now, though, are Weiss and Warzinski. A 5-run 4th inning for Cal State Dominguez Hills. They gave up 5 in the bottom of the 3rd of the first game. But they've had a bunch of crooked numbers. They've done it all week. I mean, here we are. Leah, they've only got 9 base hits. I mean, what went wrong? Right. Seriously, that's about as, I hate saying it this way, it's about as poor as the offense has executed all week, and it's only a little tongue-in-cheek. They entered this last game having played, I guess it would be 4 games over the course of the week, and they had 52 base hits in 4 games. Now they've got 9 in this one, so we're talking 61 hits in 5 games. I mean, you're averaging a little over 12 hits a game there. They have been awfully impressive. They've scored 14 runs combined in these 2 games today, which means they've scored 30 runs now in 5 games. It's a lot more hits than runs. But the offense is carrying them to the precipice of a national championship best of 3. One out, base is empty, bottom 6, Raquel Jaime. 3 RBIs on the day. She has not been out once in this doubleheader. What a pick at 3rd. That's what it took to get her retired.
Wow.
Gracie Mixon, sweet play.
That's a tough pick. You talk about protecting the line late in the game. That's a perfect example of it by Mixon. She's not on top of that line like that. That's into the corner for extra bases.
Valencia now 1 for 3, but Jaime in the first game 4 for 4, 2 doubles, 2 singles, 2 RBI. And in this second game, RBI single, walk, 2-run single, and a run scored. And that hot shot grounder to 3rd that finally resulted in an out. She hasn't missed hitting the ball squarely once. It's a good-looking pitch from Warzinski, but not in there. Warzinski. 2-0 is hit off the handle of the bat, and that's foul. Jordan probably a little frustrated that she's given up 5 runs because it kind of feels like she's pitched better than that line might indicate.
Yeah, that three-run homer, excuse me, definitely was the dagger. Actually, those back-to-back hits in that piece of scenario were 2 balls, same exact spot in the zone.
That ball got about 2/3 of the way to home plate. Slipped out of her hand. 3-1. I'm sure she would prefer not to have to pitch to Lopez again after what happened last time up. Well, she'll have to anyways. Maya Lopez, a tape measure shot her last time up.
It's all in the shoes.
Big deep breath there for Maya. And she climbs in. I would say that made up for the mental lapse earlier in the game. You get another look at the home run.
Skyrocket. She watched it too. It was pretty sights turned on it. Just getting it over the wall. Left the yard pretty quick.
Chops that one foul. Way back in the first inning, she hit into that 1-2-3 double play, and that ball she hit one hop back to the circle and didn't really run out of the box. Also has a strikeout, but a 2-homer tournament for Lopez. Outside. Did she go? Umpire says no. Six-4 game, bottom of the sixth. Too tall. This ball's hit pretty well. High and deep to right center. It's very much off the top of the fence. Just missed a homer. RBI double for Maya Lopez.
And Lopez trying to go yard the opposite way there. Hitting middle of the wall is Parker. Something's had to come a long way for that one as the Toros will continue to make a change here.
So I think we're going to get a pinch runner out at second base. Lopez gets a little love as she comes back in the dugout. Angelina Alderetti out there running for 7-4. That's a big insurance run. As Shanoa Au stands in. Did the PA announcer just do that?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, that was hilarious. He just introduced her and said her last name is Ow. Oh, it's that point in the week, folks. Au has been hit by a pitch. Gotten out twice. Ooh, good stab. Nicely done by Warzinski. The inning is over. The Nighthawks surrender another run. Valencia walked with 2 outs, and Maya Lopez doubled her home. And now as we head to the top of the 7th, Cal State Dominguez Hills is 3 outs away from playing for a national title. Janessa Hebreo has come on defensively for the Toros to play center field in this 7th inning. 7-4, Dominguez Hills out front of North Georgia. It's the outside corner for a called strike. The first batter of the inning is Olivia Sinkfield. Maddie Simmons and Mallory Parker scheduled to follow.
Good thought. Took it off it. See if Sinkfield will go chase it.
You know, Leah, we've talked all week. The seeds really don't matter. You kind of throw it out the window. It's just a way to put the teams into a bracket. But I do think it's fair to point out that Cal State Dominguez Hills, of the 8 teams here, they were the only team not to at least be receiving votes in the most recent poll. They came into the tournament having lost more than 20 games. They're 43-22 entering this game. They've played a really tough schedule, and they really proved themselves against 2 outstanding opponents in regionals and in supers against Concordia and Cal State San Marcos. I know they lost in the CCAA championship, but this team is proving that they're about impossible to get out this week, and they just might ride their bats to a berth here in the national championship best of 3.
Played almost 11 more games than most of the opponents here. 11, 12 games. Easily.
Toros were down 2-1 and probably feeling they were frustrated for leaving the bases loaded in the first and second innings. Sinkfield on the ground. Labanog overthrows it. North Georgia takes the extra base. The Nighthawks won't go quietly here in the 7th. Second error of the game for Dominguez Hills, the first overthrow.
Never take anything for granted, right? What seems to be routine. Not typical chopper, slow roller. Maybe Labanog felt that she had to rush to play, and that ball staying in play. Not going into the dugout. Hustling to second base now is Sinkfield.
How important is that RBI double feel now? That extra run of insurance for the Toros all of a sudden feels a little more necessary.
Yep.
Takes the pressure off. That run at second base, just meaningless if you're on defense. Maddie Simmons, 3-hole hitter. She's fouled out, struck out. She's also singled and scored. She's the one that singled that hit the ball off Olagi's glove that almost ricocheted into the outstretched arm of the second baseman, Owl, but it ended up falling into right field for a base hit. North Georgia's got 8 base hits in the game. Simmons fights off another. Toros champions of the West region. North Georgia out of the Southeast. Shallow center, dropping quickly and squeezed. Jaime's got it, 1 out.
Ball with a lot of spin on it for Jaime to go back on. And making the adjustment, holding on with 2 hands.
Mallory Parker at the plate. She is 2 for 3 today with a single and double. Tying run is still in the on-deck circle for the Nighthawks. Runner moves up on the ground ball to second base, but critically now 2 outs. And the Nighthawks' last hope is Hannah Forehand. With fireworks exploding in the distance.
Yeah, a little bit of everything today.
Might be a little preemptive for the celebration the Toros are about to have. They appreciate the pomp and circumstance. They can finish this off. Weiss misses outside.
Kind of caught everybody off guard.
Yeah, that wasn't a one pop and done. I mean,
No,
they
they're
are
still going
rattling them off.
on a 1-0 count.
Outside 2-0. Certainly hope you're enjoying your Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for spending a good chunk of it with us. Have a wonderful celebration tomorrow. Don't forget, 12 noon we'll be here, and you're right. Thank you very much
to all those
the service members around our country and around the world. Popped in the air, might be playable. Long run over, and Au gives it a great effort, but can't come up with it. The Toro fans about jumped out of their skin. Forehand is popped out, struck out, and had a sac fly. Great effort here.
Good hustle.
Ashley Weiss, 2-1. Weiss has had a really good week. That one hits the top of the zone, and the count runs full. J.C. Michael hoping, praying for a chance to get an at-bat here. The payoff pitch. In the air to left field, dropping quickly, base hit. 7-5, and the Nighthawks will bring the tying run to the plate. Hannah forehand, an RBI single in the 7th.
We talked about forehand trying to get her eyes square on it, feel comfortable, get some rhythm, paying off there. It wasn't pretty with the Texas Leaguer, but it falls in here with 2 outs.
J.C. Michael has seen the ball really well this week. She swings through the first one. Michael has doubled and scored, reached on an error, and singled and scored. Outside, that's a ball. Wasn't long ago in this tournament that Molly Cobb hit a home run that sent shockwaves around this city. With 2 outs in the last inning, and her team down by 1. She hit a 2-run homer. Michael trying to channel some similar big-time late-game energy, but she's down to her last strike. Rogers State waiting for their championship opponent. J.C. wastes another. On the ground, back to the circle. The Toros, for the first time in program history, will play for a national championship.
Kona happy too. Big part of the team, celebrating with them at midfield, right around the circle. And for North Georgia, what heck of a season for the Nighthawks. This young squad, they were young last year when they had the opportunity to be in this venue. Still a young squad, and the season finishes up for them. And Cal State will head off to the championship round now. Best 2 out of 3 against Rogers State. Great effort.
That?
Great effort.
So the North Georgia Nighthawks were 2-0 entering the day. But their season comes to a close with a pair of losses It was a great season for North Georgia, but they fall to 49-18. Cal State Dominguez Hills improbably wins the first game 8-6 and decisively wins the second game 7-5. Final line score: 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors, 7 left for the Nighthawks. Dominguez Hills, 7 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. They stranded 8. Ashley Weiss, the winning pitcher. She goes to 21-8 on the season. A really good effort for her. Warzinski, the losing pitcher, falls to 7-3. No save. Time of the game, 1 hour and 52 minutes. And so our field of 8 has dwindled down to 2. Beginning tomorrow at 12 noon here in Denver, we will start a best-of-3 series with 1 game tomorrow, games 2 and maybe 3 on Tuesday afternoon. We certainly hope you'll join us then. Big thank you to our entire production crew. For Leah Secondo, I'm Brendan Gulick. The Cal State Dominguez Hills Toros will play the Rogers State Hillcats for the national championship beginning tomorrow.
NCAA Division II Softball Committee, Kendall Rainey. Freshman